The drum that played only when someone was about to die. The drum began to play at midnight. Not from the chief's palace. Not during a festival. Not for war, marriage, or a funeral. It played alone. Its deep sound echoed from the sacred forest and roared across the sleeping village of Akyem Kwaso like a warning from the ancestors. Boom. 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 Every dog fell silent. Every family froze. Inside a small mud house, a young woman named Abena woke with a scream. She recognized the sound. The same drum had played 11 years earlier. The night her mother died. Then a chilling voice drifted through the darkness. Before sunrise, someone you love will die. At sunrise, the villagers gathered beneath the great Odom tree. Chief Kwaku stood before everyone with the ancient drum of last breath beside him. The ancestors have spoken, the chief declared. Someone has angered the spirits. Then Elder Mensa slowly pointed at Abena. Perhaps the daughter of a cursed woman has brought this upon us. The crowd murmured. Abena stepped forward. My mother was never cursed. The chief warned her to stay silent. Instead she said the words no one had dared speak. My mother was murdered. The entire village gasped. At that exact moment. Boom. The drum sounded by itself. A crack appeared along its side. From inside rolled an old Corishel necklace. Abena's hands trembled. It belonged to her mother. Attached to it was a tiny piece of animal skin with only 3 words scratched into it. The chief knows. That night, the village's elderly drummer, Naneyo, secretly visited Abena. With fear in his voice, he revealed a truth hidden for generations. The drum of last breath does not predict death, he whispered. It announces murder. Long ago, the sacred drum had been carved from a lightning-struck tree. It carried the voices of innocent victims. Whenever someone powerful planned to kill another person, the drum played. The chiefs had hidden this secret for generations. Whenever the drum sounded, they murdered the chosen victim and blamed their ancestors. Abena's mother had uncovered the truth years ago. That was why she was killed. Before leaving, Naneyo handed Abena a carved wooden flute. Your mother left this for you, he said. It will lead you to the evidence. Before dawn, Abena followed the flute carving deep into the sacred forest until she reached an abandoned river shrine. Hidden beneath a stone was a clay pot. Inside were dozens of old records. Each one listed victims murdered after the drum had sounded. Every record ended with the same chilling sentence. The drum played. The chief acted. The ancestors were blamed. Then Abena found her mother's record. She read the final line. Betrayed by Oma Sewa. Her heart stopped. Oma. Her closest childhood friend. The woman she trusted most. Before Abena could escape, Oma appeared from the trees with palace guards. Tears filled her eyes. I'm sorry, she whispered. The chief has your little brother. Abena was taken to the chief's palace. There she found 10-year-old Kojo tied to a wooden post beside the sacred drum. The chief smiled calmly. Give me the records, he said. And your brother lives. Abena stared at him. You murdered my mother. I protected this village, the chief replied. You protected your power. The chief laughed. People fear the ancestors. They never fear the man who controls the story. Elder Mensa slowly raised a knife. The drum has spoken. Someone must die before sunrise. Abena looked toward the drum. Something suddenly felt wrong. The drum had stopped playing. Then she remembered Nanayo's words. It announces murder. If it was silent now, then the intended victim was no longer Kojo. Someone else was about to die. Suddenly the palace gates burst open. Oma ran inside, bleeding from her arm. Behind her came Nanayo, followed by dozens of angry villagers carrying burning torches. I told them everything, Oma cried. The chief murdered innocent people. The chief ordered his guards to attack. Before they could move, Elder Mensa turned his knife toward the chief. "The secret dies with us," he hissed. He lunged. Abena instinctively pushed Kojo away. The knife struck her shoulder instead. She collapsed. The drum exploded with sound. Boom. 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 Its carved symbols began glowing. Then voices filled the courtyard. Not one voice. Hundreds. The voices of every innocent person murdered over the years. Parents heard the names of missing children. Old men heard the names of forgotten brothers. Women heard the names of sisters who had disappeared without explanation. The entire village stood frozen. The truth could no longer be buried. Chief Kwaku tried to flee. The villagers surrounded him. For the first time in his life, fear filled the chief's eyes. Oma fell to her knees in tears. "I betrayed Abena's mother because I was afraid. I chose silence over truth." The villagers seized both the chief and Elder Mensa. As sunrise painted the sky orange, the drum finally became silent. Not because death had come, because murder had failed. Abena survived, though a scar remained on her shoulder forever. The hidden records were read aloud before the entire village. Every family finally learned the truth about those they had lost. Chief Kwaku and Elder Mensa were stripped of their power and punished for their crimes. Oma spent the rest of her life caring for the widows and orphans created by her betrayal. Kojo eventually became the greatest drummer in Akyem Kwaso, just an instrument. It would no longer be called the drum of last breath. From that day forward, it became known as the drum of truth. Years later, whenever children asked why the drum never played during festivals, Abena would smile and say, "A drum should never frighten the innocent. It should only remind the guilty that truth always finds its voice." And from that day on, the people of Akyem Kwaso never forgot one lesson. A lie can rule for many years, but one day, the truth will always begin to beat. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Folktales for more powerful African folktales.